Meet Abriana Newman and her son, Beckett. Abriana was working as a phlebotomist at Hoxworth until right before she gave birth to Beckett.
So I found out I was anemic during pregnancy, right in the beginning of like my second trimester, when you get all those big lab results. When I went in to do the glucose test, like the biggest thing you're worried about is having like diabetes with pregnancy. Like you don't really think much about like being anemic, but I did find out that I was anemic and that my levels were low enough to require iron transfusions, that doing an iron supplement wasn't enough. They pretty much told me that because I have no dietary restrictions, it's not what I'm eating, it's that my body just isn't absorbing it and holding on to it. So I met with a specialist and we came up with a plan which involved getting iron transfusions and B12 shots. I received my last infusion on the 24th of June, and he was born July 7th, so I had just gotten one.
Abriana's mom, Valerie, knew something wasn't right. She also works at Hoxworth Blood Center and says she knows what it's like when someone is experiencing blood loss.
When we were in the hospital, I had that kind of mom instinct. I was like, something's not right. And the nurses kept saying, oh, she's fine. Like, all of her levels are good, vitals are good, all of this. I'm like, are you sure though? Like, she looks really pale. And they're like, she's fine.
Yeah, so with this being my first, like I just assumed that everything I was going through and everything I was feeling was normal, and with time it would kind of go away. And then being home and everything happening the way that it did, I was like, no, this isn't what's supposed to happen. So we ended up going back to the hospital just for a clot in my uterus. They gave me medication and sent me home and told me that it would pass naturally and then my uterus would start to close on its own, which was not the case for me. I ended up going back hours later, and then that's when they told me that my uterus wasn't going to close on its own and that I had to get that procedure. From the time I gave birth to him to the time I made it to the hospital to get this procedure done, I was losing blood actively.
I literally was sitting there and I saw the courier come in with a cooler of blood for her, and it just like all kind of hit me. So she ended up needing 2 units of blood.
So what was it like being the person that had been drawing blood for months and months and now you're receiving blood?
Yeah, so I always say it's such a crazy feeling because I worked there the week prior to giving birth. So like I was actively drawing blood like and within the shelf life. So I was like, I could have drawn the blood that was given to me. And I was like, and that's such a crazy, surreal feeling because when you work for Hoxworth, you go through the motions sometimes and you forget how big of a difference it really does make because, I mean, you're just showing up for work every day and doing what you were trained to do.
Abriana gave birth at Bethesda North and says she always felt like she was in good hands, never worried about what would happen to her.
It all seems really scary and seems really big and terrifying, but the people that are with you through it all, they've been through it before.
Like Abriana and Valerie say they have a new reason to tell donors why it's so important to donate blood with Hoxworth so it helps local patients like Abriana.
I mean, time is valuable, but it is worth it, especially being somebody who received a donation and knowing how big of a difference that it made for me and knowing that there are people that have to get blood transfusions regularly to help maintain their life. And I would say there's nothing that's more rewarding and more worth it.
I always said, and I've always tried to encourage my husband to donate because I'm like, what if one of our kids needed blood? And he's like, oh, it's not happening. I'm like, you never know. Like, and in my mind, I have teenage drivers. I'm thinking like car accident. Like I never thought about giving birth because I think as women, it's such a natural thing that we forget all the complications that can come along with it.
When you donate blood with Hoxworth, you are impacting the lives of local patients at more than 30 greater Cincinnati hospitals. You can help moms like Abriana get back to their babies and live a normal life. Schedule your donation today.